Good evening. Ariel Kanieski is here with us, my brother, my friend, on one of the most difficult days since this started 2.5 years ago. Let's see. I've been watching your stream and saw you down, but not in Kanieski mode. There's something I don't know. You're not in Kanieski mode, so feel free to open up here.
And I deleted things.
He deleted things. He deleted things.
Yes. Yes. I deleted after it finished uploading because sometimes it takes us a while to upload.
Yes, it takes a while. Yes.
YouTube doesn't let you edit right away either.
Of course, when it's broadcast in high quality, it takes a while.
It takes a while, yes. And today of course, I've seen it in HD. I haven't gone
on Ariel's show. Not because Ariel didn't invite me. It's because I was afraid that my appearance on Ariel's show would have a negative effect on his channel because they were going to censor it.
Yes, not me. That's why I deleted things. They're already gone. Some people will never know what I said. Those who were there were 6,000 people watching the live stream. Those who were there and heard me know everything I said, but some people will never know. Maybe I can say them here, since this channel has already been censored more than once.
If they censor us again, it does.
Sure, but maybe later on, not at the beginning.
I was about to come to your house to comfort you, but you're a bit far away. But I would have gone to give you this hug here, this hug to comfort you, right?
I don't know if he's asleep now, because he's kind of restless.
Well, he's kind of restless. And now we're going to say why. Hezbollah attacked northern Israel just 4 minutes ago.
Correct.
But the thing is, people are coming in here and they don't understand what's going on. Let's see, let's start. Because we sat here to talk. A conversation between brothers, so people can understand.
Are we live already?
We are live.
We are live. Shalom.
Shalom, everyone. Welcome. Allah Shala to the spite room. The spite room. Today, it's not military strategy, it's the spite room. Let's look at something. This morning, I was woken up by this person here he says to me, brother, wake up, you're losing the war. We're gonna blow up Dakwil. We're gonna blow up Beirut. This is it, this is coming. Things are gonna get crazy, you know. Me, well, no need to worry. I called him, told him to relax, and let's see what happens.
No, because I'll call you. I don't know where in the world you are. I don't know what time zone you're in. You don't answer the phone because surely we're not going to say where you are. But no, we don't know if it was in the morning, if it was in the morning, if it was in the afternoon. No, we don't know.
Or maybe it was night, since some places on earth have 6 months of darkness and 6 of light.
And yes. Well, of course, to tell you that, Bibi had just announced that we're going to blow up Beirut.
We're going to blow up Beirut.
Around 9:30, he made the announcement.
The strategy kicks in. Ariel says to him, hey, I'm going to do a live stream afterwards. I say, well, after you, I'll do another live stream, a bit later in the afternoon so people can wake up because most of the people who watch us are from the other side of the pond. I say, okay, we'll do our live stream. Iran. Well, in the morning, Iran attacks the United States of America, attacks American bases in the region, and launches missiles. We discussed that in the last show. If you missed it, please watch it. They fire ballistic missiles. A full-blown crisis occurs, and Israel starts to explode in Lebanon, in the south of Lebanon. Not Beirut, in the south of Lebanon. It starts to explode. Iran, in Tyre, they carry out a massacre in Tyre. Iran gets cocky, breaks off all negotiations. Iran breaks the channels of communication. Says there's nothing to negotiate here until Israel leaves Lebanon and all the troops are withdrawn and there is no ceasefire from Israel and that they are going to keep firing and so on. The day goes by, I do the live broadcast. First threat from Iran, not visual, but they leak that if Israel attacks Dakia, the Shia neighborhood in Beirut, Iran will launch ballistic missiles against northern Israel. People don't really believe this. They don't take it very seriously. But After a while, they say it again, and they say it again in a pretty visual way. They create a typical image, like the ones Israel makes for evacuations. And they say to him that the citizens of northern Israel, from Upper Galilee and Lower Galilee as well, that they have to leave, that they have to go. I'll show the photograph so people understand where this is going. At that very moment, Bibi Netanyahu and Trump and Vivi are talking on the phone for 2 hours. Vivi had promised in the morning to blow up Dakia. He had given the order to the IDF to attack Dakia. An evacuation order had been given. They were evacuating Dakia neighborhood in Beirut. Everything was ready. The people, the drones were flying over Beirut. In fact, to be more honest, I have images right now from Beirut. So there's no trick here, no story at all. This is Beirut right now. There it is, Beirut at this moment. We're watching it. Everything is open here. Debar Beirut. They're talking on the phone. And suddenly, Donald J. Trump goes on social media to say he's ordering Israel not to bomb Beirut, that all the troops heading to Beirut turn back, that Israel is not going to bomb Beirut, and that Hezbollah, that he has spoken with Hezbollah, and that Hezbollah is going to make a ceasefire agreement, that there will be a ceasefire, that neither side will attack each other. Here the question is, and I think the headline is clear, who is in charge in Israel? Who is the prime minister? Who makes the decisions? Even the military themselves have complained to Bibi today, telling him that he shouldn't have gone on TV warning them that they were going to strike in Dajia, because VIP targets that were ready to be eliminated today have escaped. And this has been criticized internally, that the information about launching an attack on Dajia shouldn't have been declassified because they lost targets of opportunity. For example, Naim Qasem. But you, as an Israeli, as a man of Israel, a person who lives and feels Israel, how do you feel right now?
Today we should have attacked in Beirut. Look, when Bibi announces in the morning that we are going to attack Beirut, he posts a video in Hebrew and then posts a tweet in Hebrew.
I got it.
Okay. I got it?
I got it. We'll put it in.
Yes, after just 10 minutes, there were people who started complaining and saying, but why does he talk and not do anything? No. Why does he talk so much instead of doing something? Why does he have to announce that we're going to attack in Beirut? And then something remarkable happened. Hours went by and the army didn't say anything. That is, this tweet from Bibi, and at 9:47 Israeli time, this tweet, and hours went by, and the army didn't say anything.
Well, did they give an evacuation order? No. I saw an evacuation order.
In the afternoon?
In the afternoon, that's in the afternoon.
5 or 6 hours later. 5 or 6 hours later. And when you realize that the army doesn't react to this statement from Bibi, there were already people here who were starting to wonder what was going on and found it very strange. It seemed very strange to them. They didn't understand why what usually happens wasn't happening, which is that the one who gives the evacuation order is the Israeli army and not the prime minister. Many people started complaining and realized something strange was happening. And then the Iranian threats started to arrive, which you just mentioned, that if Israel attacks in Beirut, they will close the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. And that if Israel attacks Beirut, we're leaving the negotiations until they withdraw from Lebanon. And at that point, it seemed like there was pressure from the United States that Israel couldn't just do whatever it wanted. And the confirmation came a little while ago, a few hours ago, 2 or 3 hours ago, with that tweet from Trump saying that Israel is not going to attack Beirut, talking about troops. I don't know what troops he's talking about.
Troops heading to Beirut.
Troops heading to Beirut? There are no troops heading to Beirut. Maybe there were planes heading to Beirut. Well, maybe that's what he calls troops. I don't think so, but okay. And I think it's terrible. I think so. The problem is Bibi shouldn't have done this. That's the problem.
Look, here is the tweet. This isn't a tweet. It's from a social media platform.
Yes, this to me. Let's see, this message from Trump bothers me, but I also said it before on my channel. I don't have to ask Trump for an explanation. I am an Israeli citizen. I don't have to ask Trump for explanations, just like I don't have to ask Pedro Sanchez or Macron or anyone else for explanations. I have to ask for explanations from the leaders who govern my country. And for me, the main mistake Bibi makes, he makes a lot of mistakes all the time. But Bibi's main mistake today was that in the morning he went and told his little friends, making it public on all his social media, that they were going to attack Beirut.
Well, drones right now. Excuse me. 1 second, family. Drones right now. Thank you. Here in Eslomi. Kanita, Eslomi, Kafarros. Hezbollah is currently launching drones over Israeli cities.
Yes.
Now let's continue with this. Keep in mind that Hezbollah is currently attacking Israel. But Israel is not attacking Beirut. But keep this in mind, because now you will understand why what is happening right now is key. Please continue. Sorry for interrupting you. Go ahead. No.
It's key. What's happening now is crucial for when you show the next tweet.
That's it. That's it. Exactly.
When there was a tweet from Bibi about Beirut, I ended my show by saying Bibi still hadn't spoken out. No, he hadn't shown his face after the conversation with Trump. And then, no, he didn't speak, but he wrote on Twitter. I think that's what happened. He wrote a message in Hebrew addressed to Israeli society where he says things related to what you're talking about. But what I was telling you is that for me, Bibi's mistake was that she rushed to give that information in the morning, and my interpretation of why she did it, which turned out badly for her, because in the end it didn't happen, is that we're also in the middle of an election campaign. Elections are coming up soon in Israel, which you mentioned recently, has to sell things to people. Because for now, there isn't a clear victory on any, if you notice. Correct, right. On the Hamas front, there is no clear victory. No, nobody knows what's happening with Gaza. On the Iran front, we are in a ceasefire forced by Trump. Nobody knows what will happen after the World Cup, before the World Cup. It's not clear. And on the Lebanon front, we're getting worse and worse. And we were fine after the ceasefire in November 24. And now we're worse than before we started the war against Iran. Because before there was a ceasefire, Hezbollah wasn't attacking. Hezbollah attacked for the first time after we attacked in Iran. They got involved in the war, and Israel also entered as retaliation, but we're worse off than before that ceasefire. And so Vivi is in the middle of an election campaign. He thought that maybe he could convince Trump to attack in Beirut. He wrote the tweet, made a video in Hebrew where he said we were going to attack in Beirut. Of course, that makes him popular. Because finally the prime minister is doing something. The people in the north finally said, let's start attacking in Beirut, which is where we can really hurt Hezbollah, in the Dahiyat neighborhood. And now finally, it couldn't be done. And not only did you lose a super important strategic opportunity to strike Hezbollah when Hezbollah is really in a very complicated position, and if you look at all of Iran's reactions throughout this afternoon, they show you that Iran seemed willing to enter the war again to try to save
Hezbollah.
Hezbollah. Because if Hezbollah fell in the next confrontation with Iran, Iran wouldn't have Hezbollah anymore. This was the moment. The strategic moment was now. And if Iran wanted to withdraw from the ceasefire, they could withdraw from the ceasefire and we didn't care. It was even better because it meant they would be in a much weaker position. And Vivi missed a very, very good strategic opportunity And also, this is also going to have electoral consequences for her. I mean, in terms of popularity.
Sunk. He's sunk.
I am. But look, I'm in the Telegram groups. I've explained this before. The Telegram groups I follow in Israel are kind of underground. I mean, they share information. I always say that in Israel, we have a kind of information censorship. There are things you can say, things you can't. And you and I follow those rules because we're not underground channels. But these Telegram channels I follow are underground. And they're all from the far right. Because now I hold myself back. Look, there's a survey. They did a survey here. I'm going to vote in one of these two.
Él is telling this, colaborar con el contenido. We're live right now, folks. Your likes are super important. We also have super chats open for your comments and our paypal.me/estrategias militares to support the content. Say.
I made a mistake here.
They are launching attacks. We're going to see it now. We have it ready here for when they start coming down. Well, just a moment ago, in the northern area, they're putting up the fence. And nothing happens here. But there's a guy who's thousands of miles away in a White House, deciding what has to happen in the state of Israel. Where has this ever been seen?
Look, what do you think about the new fire with Hezbollah is a Telegram group that has 450,000 subscribers. That's a lot.
That's a lot for Israel.
Yes. For Israel, 450,000 is a lot. Almost 500,000 subscribers. 7%. I need time to think. 7%. 81% against.
Oh my God.
There are others, but just so we get an idea. So we get an idea of what people here in Israel think without getting into party politics. I explained it before on my channel as well. People from Bibi's coalition, people who are in the government with him, are criticizing Bibi, and people from the opposition are criticizing Bibi as well. That is to say, everyone is criticizing Bibi for not being stubborn enough to tell Trump no today. If you notice, Bibi has never said no to Trump since Trump has been in the White House, not even once. He said yes to everything.
Look at this message, which I think is also key, from one of the most controversial people in Israel. Look at what he's going to say to him.
To be clear, this man is one of Bibi's ministers.
Mr. Prime Minister, this is Itamar Ben-Gvir. You said that a strong prime minister tells the President of the United States yes when possible and no when necessary. This is the time to say no to our friend, President Trump. Now is the time to do what is required, what is needed to strike Hezbollah, to free our warriors to act and to restore security to the north. Ben-Gvir, who was there 2 years ago, he spent nights there in the north, seeing firsthand the drama of the people who are living there. Because, of course, Israel is a country that is very narrow and stretches from the north to the south. Some people in the central and southern parts of the country are unaware of what is happening. But there are 600,000 souls, families, women, children, elderly people, civilians, even in shelters, air raid shelters, because they are being bombed with drones, with rockets. There are several Israels within Israel itself. And in the north, it's a story right now. That is a tragedy.
Well, that's what people in the north say, that they are second-class citizens right now. What would happen if this were the reality in Tel Aviv, for example? Every day, if sirens went off in Tel Aviv every day, what would Israel do in that case? Would they do anything more than what they're doing now? I'm telling you, yes, for sure.
It's unsustainable.
No, it's unsustainable. It's unsustainable. So, and it's also impossible to always listen to Trump. It doesn't make any sense. It's absurd. I said it before as well on my channel. Okay, Trump calls you on the phone, tells you that you can't attack in Beirut. And you say, Trump, thank you for everything. I really appreciate your support. I will continue to appreciate it in the future because it's going to stay the same. I have my interest, my people, and my soldiers are killed daily. No, I'm going to attack Beirut. And that's it.
Opposition leader Yair Lapid accuses Bibi of turning Israel into a full-fledged protectorate after Trump backed down on the IDF's military plans in Lebanon.
Of course, now look at how Yair Lapid and Ben Gvir are saying the same thing. Do you realize? No. I mean, Yair Lapid and Ben Gvir, who are two people that will never be together in the same government, are saying the same thing.
Today, this guy from Tel Aviv, Yossi, a military doctor, has died. 30 years old, or Yosef. Why? Why did Ori die? Why did another one die the day before yesterday? Why are soldiers dying every day? And Dajia is still standing. How will you tell this to Israelis? How can you explain this? For those families, I think there was a mega funeral today in Ascalon, because I saw the video of the blocked road.
Yes.
All of Ashkelon went to the funeral of a boy who wasn't required to join the army, who asked his mother for permission. He had to write a letter. Because I would like you to explain this. When there are only children, or I think he was the only son, he wasn't required to join the army. And this boy voluntarily asked to join the army to fight. Because these things are happening because soldiers have to die. With the feeling right now that the command doesn't have a clear plan of action inside Lebanon. Where are we going? What do we want? And what is the objective?
What you were saying is that in Israel, military service is mandatory. Now, what's mandatory is to enlist in the army. It's not mandatory to be a combatant. So, generally, the soldiers who enlist in the army at 18, the army asks you what you like, what you want. The army sees what its needs are, what you're qualified for, and it offers you something. And you can also volunteer for certain units. So generally, combat soldiers in combat units go because they want to, and the army that needs combatants enlists them. Now, what happens? A person can choose to go to a combat unit as long as they are not an only child. That's it. And you are an only child. The army tells you no. You can't enter combat units. Only children are not combatants. But if your parents sign an authorization for you, then you can. And so in many cases and in many families, there are only children who want to be combatants. The army tells them you can't. You need authorization from your parents. And the parents sign the authorization so they can be combatants. And in some cases, they die. And they were the only child. And there have been many such cases throughout the entire history of Israel. Terrible. Look.
This boy, this family, the one you're about to see now has just buried this kid. And now let them explain, or let someone explain why. What's the point? If I or Ariel, I imagine Ariel has a family, and so on. Let's see. Your son or your daughter goes to war to defend their country against an enemy that wants to exterminate them, not conquer them. The ones who conquered you were the Romans and other peoples. They want to exterminate you, and you go to defend your country. You die, and it gives you back. When they return the box with the remains of your son or your daughter, You find out that there is a guy, I don't know how many kilometers away, in another country, on another continent, who is the president of another country that is not Israel, and who has called your prime minister on the phone to the man who gave the order to send your son into combat, to tell him not to destroy those responsible for your son's death. That's how intense it is. And everyone should think about what we're saying right now for themselves. Thank you very much. But it's not just this. It's attacks on ships in the Strait of Hormuz, bombings in Middle Eastern countries, launches. Look, this video shows a missile being launched at a ship this afternoon. Pay attention to this. It's an anti-ship missile. Well, how is it possible that with all the drones and all the planes, Macosta? Well, how is it possible? We see them every day. All the planes flying around the coasts. Iran can place an anti-ship missile launcher right on the coast. Why isn't it destroyed? Why don't they put an end to this once and for all? Thanks. What's going on? The business is what you're about to see now. Pay attention to what you're about to see now. This is Donald J. Trump. Talks with Iran are continuing at a fast pace. Thank you for your attention to this matter. We are tired of the attention to this matter. A fast pace for whom? For the dead in Israel? Who are the accelerated talks for? Thank you. This story can't be justified. As Ariel says, I'm not seeking explanations from Donald J. Trump. He's the one who has to give them. And what has Bibi said? This is where we get to the key of this story. What has Netanyahu said about his conversation tonight? Let's watch it. Here. This morning, following repeated ceasefire violations and attacks on our cities by Hezbollah, I ordered the IDF and the Israeli defense minister to strike terrorist targets in the Dahiya neighborhood. Very well. None have been attacked. There's more. The humiliation continues. The humiliation goes even further. Prime Minister Netanyahu.
Watch out. Look at the difference. Look at the previous tweet.
Second.
The one from Bibi.
1 second. Let's go here.
This is him. Look at the difference. This is Bibi from his account. Netanyahu. It's Bibi from his account with his photo.
He posted it on his account too.
He's saying that he gave the order to attack Dajia because of the other one.
Yes, but he posted it on his account too. I have it on both. I have it on both. It's here on his account, and he also posted it on the office's account. It doesn't matter to me. The message is identical. It's copy-paste. All right. But that's not the key. The key is this. I spoke tonight with President Trump and told him that if Hezbollah does not stop attacking our cities and our citizens, Israel will strike terrorist targets in Beirut. Our position remains firm. At the same time, the IDF continues to operate as planned in southern Lebanon. Very well. Well, right now in Israel, it's 12:13 on June 2nd. Hezbollah, since he wrote that message, has attacked Israel once, twice, 3, 4, 5, and even 7 times. Why is Beirut still standing? Because right now, there is no explosion here. What Netanyahu said is, if they keep attacking, terrorist targets in Beirut will be attacked.
And he also talks about cities, and they keep attacking cities and civilians.
And what about the soldiers?
Of course, he doesn't say anything about the soldiers. Vivi's tweet doesn't mention the soldiers. And tomorrow, another soldier is going to turn up dead. And what's going to happen? Hezbollah keeps attacking. Earlier, while we were talking, we showed this because it's relevant to what's coming next. Exactly.
Metula.
Metula.
And where are the attacks now? Where is Vivi? If he has spoken tonight and told Trump, if they attack us, we will respond.
What's going on? He doesn't have permission.
Well, just wait, because there's more. There's more. Now, we find out that Donald J. Trump. One second, we're going to see it here. It's just that he's posted so many messages. And there's so much going on here. Okay, back to this message. Donald J. Trump says he had a good call with Hezbollah. Now Trump is negotiating with Hezbollah behind Israel's back. And we found out that Qatar is also involved.
Who knows who he talked to? Thank you.
Who knows with whom?
Of course, because look at this news. Representative of Hezbollah in the Lebanese parliament. This is recent. Hezbollah rejects the US ceasefire. The Americans propose that Hezbollah stop all its operations so that Israel doesn't attack in Beirut. This is unacceptable. The resistance rejects this partial proposal, which means that Israel refrains from attacking Beirut in exchange for stopping the attacks in the north of the occupied territories. Hezbollah is not in favor of this. That is, Trump supposedly reached an agreement with Hezbollah so that Israel would not attack Beirut and they would stop attacking. But Hezbollah didn't reach any agreement, they say. The representative of Hezbollah says no, that they didn't reach any agreement, that they are going to keep attacking.
But the thing is, well, you're saying this, but look at what's coming from the other side. This is chaos. This is chaos right now. Look at this one. In the conversations with Navid Berri. Navid Berri is the president.
He is the president of the Lebanese parliament from Amal, who are Shiites, allies of Hezbollah.
Amal is another terrorist group. So people know, first there was Amal, then Hezbollah came.
It's the same. I mean, so people understand it's the same. It's like saying Hamas, Islamic Jihad. It's the same. It's the same people.
It's Galibaf in conversations with Navid Berri. Our lives and yours are one, and the bond between Iran and Lebanon is unbreakable. In the last 2 days, we have seriously pursued a halt to Israel's attacks. If the crimes continue, we will not only stop the negotiation process, but we will also take a stand against the Zionist regime. We are committed to achieving a ceasefire across Lebanon, particularly in the south. If Iran and the United States agree to end the war, it will halt attacks on all fronts, especially in Lebanon. President of the Lebanese parliament, Lebanon will never forget Iran's positive stances during this sensitive period. How can you negotiate with the Lebanese government when Hezbollah is part of the government?
Thank you. Of course, that's the problem. Because in the government, well, in general, anything that is going to be done in Lebanon will generate a very big internal political crisis in Lebanon because of how the country is structured. The president always has to be Christian, the prime minister always has to be Sunni, and the speaker of parliament, if they're Shia, they're Hezbollah, making up a third of the country and represented in parliament. They're in the government. And so the president and the prime minister are negotiating, but part of the government is against them and threatens coup attempts. It's a disaster. It's a disaster. A country just can't function like that.
Check this out, brother. British Airways suspends all flights to Israel until October 24th. Let's see. Yeah, let's see.
British Airways.
There are 60 tanker planes at Ben Gurion Airport. If they don't plan to attack Iran, then keep quiet. If they don't plan to let Israel defend itself from Hezbollah and Iran, they should leave.
No, they should go. They should leave now. They should leave.
They're screwing things up. They're screwing things up. to the airlines to stop flying to Israel, to the tourists to stop flying to Israel, so that tomorrow Israel already told them.
Israel already told the United States that either they use them or they leave the airport. The airport is not a parking lot for American tankers. They should leave.
It's not a military base, but a civilian airport. Correct. If there's no war, and there isn't going to be a war, they should get out of here. So, let them set up the base in Jordan, in Saudi Arabia with their friends.
No, let them go to the airport in Eilat. There's space there too. Let them go to Uda. There are plenty of other places. I mean, they don't have to be at Ben Gurion Airport. We're not kicking them out.
Let them go to Neva, man. Nevatim. There's plenty of space.
Obviously, there are places in Israel where they can stay. No problem. We're not kicking them out of Israel. But the fact that they're at Ben Gurion Airport with that grotesque image, plus the fact that anyone arriving or leaving, the first thing they see are those huge American tankers. And it looks like there was a US military occupation here, or I don't know, like aliens are about to invade, and it's not clear what's going on. Also, I want to tell you, the airport is open, okay? People can come, they can go. The airport is not closed. The problem is that there are many airlines that are not flying. One problem is there's not enough space for the planes. And this might sound stupid, but Israel's airport, the one in Tel Aviv, which is Ben Gurion, which actually isn't in Tel Aviv, but is called that, is a very small airport, but it's the only international airport in Israel. And from the point of view of Israeli society, Ben Gurion Airport represents freedom. It represents the connection with the outside world. Israelis travel a lot outside of Israel. Of course, in fact, all the time, everywhere, there are Israelis at any given moment. If you go right now for a walk in Budapest, in Barcelona, in Tbilisi, in any place, you will find Israelis, because Israelis love to travel, and they are always traveling. And Ben Gurion Airport represents the freedom to leave and enter the country, and the fact that the tankers are there and that the airlines aren't coming back because they don't have space creates a certain discomfort among people, among Israelis.
It's just that it's a problem. Ariel, from the point of view of a civil airline security, they're seeing that there are 60 planes that would be an easy target if Iran launched missiles at Israel at any moment. And the 60 planes there that are parked there, stationed, that you can't take off in 5 minutes. Listen.
You're going too far. Before that, there's no place. I mean, the plane. So people understand there's no space for the planes to arrive properly. In fact, Israeli airline planes have also had to leave because there's no space for everyone, because the space is being taken up by the United States military. Oh, there's no place. I mean, there's no physical space to park the plane for a few hours. Because how does it work? The airlines go back and forth, but in between, the pilot has to go to sleep. The crew has to rest. There's no place to park the plane. Some planes have had to go park in Cyprus and then come back. Do you understand?
It's ridiculous. This is crazy, and he keeps them there. There's no space. I've heard he wants to keep them until 2027.
What? Yeah, that's what was said a couple of weeks ago, that there was news saying that the tankers would be there until 2027, but Israel is already complaining. And it seems they've already said that if an agreement is reached, as soon as it's reached within 72 hours, the tankers will leave.
Look, here's a statement that says the Lebanese president has received confirmation and a commitment from Hezbollah to stop the attacks against Israel. But they're attacking now. He's laughing at everyone.
No, I'm going to tell you. The army is making a statement now, okay?
There's a statement. There's breaking news.
No, just one line, and I want to share the inside story too.
One line.
Army statement.
Sort of breaking news.
The sirens in northern Israel. False alarm. Okay, and in the Telegram group I mentioned to you before, people are reacting with that emoji that's tilted, laughing, crying with laughter. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
This one is incredible.
Why? Because right now, false alarm. Sure. It's fine.
It was a migration of storks that passed in the middle of the night. They headed south from Lebanon.
They're reacting with the laughing one and the clown one, the clown emoji.
This is a joke. It's a mockery.
The Israeli army, let's believe them, right? It's the institution with the highest popularity within the state of Israel, despite the failure of October 7th. It wasn't only the army that failed. Other organizations, including the Shin Bet, also failed, along with others. But with this, who would believe it?
Well, they're asking here, what if Trump promised Netanyahu something to do in the future that we don't know about? We'll see. In the future. I'm as frustrated as you are, but I also understand. Without the United States, I couldn't have stopped a month-long missile attack until I gained independence. Thank you very much. Well, Bibi told him.
I want to explain this for a second. That Israel is not independent. Israel depends, listen to me for a second. I am 100% convinced of what I'm about to say. Israel needs the United States. But in the same way, the United States needs Israel. Let no one be mistaken.
Israel pays for the weapons.
But no, but not just because of that. Let no one be mistaken, the very existence of the State of Israel. And that the State of Israel is the greatest ally that the United States has in the Middle East. It strategically benefits the national interests of the United States. Because here people think that this relationship is one-sided. We depend on the United States and we're always receiving things. That's not the case. Look at where the tankers are, for example. Why aren't they in Kuwait? Why doesn't Trump take the tankers to Qatar? They're also his allies. Because none of them are as much of an ally as Israel. So for people to understand what's happening here, Israel relies on the United States, but the US also relies on Israel. And I'm convinced, and I swear by it, that if today Vivi had said no to Trump, nothing would have happened. In the bilateral relations between the two countries, nothing would have happened. There would have been some tension. There would have been some bad blood for a couple of days. The bad blood is already there. That's it. For several days or weeks now, they haven't been getting along like they did at first. Nothing serious was going to happen. Nothing serious.
See how things are. Listen now from Beirut. Sound. There are no drones. Let's see.
No, there's nothing.
Let's see, 1 second. Very, very, very far in the distance. Very far in the distance. Nothing like what we saw this morning around noon when they were right on top of us. In fact, Hezbollah fighters were shooting at the drones with light weapons, with machine guns. Nothing to do with this. What do you think is going to happen? Well, Naftali Bennett has written him a whole screed. Let's see it. Because these are the candidates for the presidency. Naftali Bennett. I want you to give me your opinion. Let's see. We have it here. We are live with Military Strategies and Ariel Kanieski, a brother channel you should follow. And also this channel, please. If you like the content, trying to figure out what the hell is happening right now, who is leading Israel, and where we are heading. Naftali Bennett. Let's see. This is the truth. If there were a serious and functional government here, if Israel were well governed, the drone disaster, which is costing us human lives, could have been avoided. These are the facts. The drone threat did not surprise anyone. We've been at war for 2.5 years. The Prime Minister boasted that 6 years ago, he warned the cabinet about it. What have they done since then? Besides warning, why hasn't anyone worked on a solution? We have all the tools to solve this problem. Israel is a technological powerhouse. We have advanced technologies and the best minds. But there's no one home. There isn't a government here that proposes solutions before disaster blows up in our faces. There's no management, no interest, There's no Minister of Defense who was supposed to take care of this. He's busy appointing hundreds of Likud activists to positions in the Ministry of Defense. There's no chairman of the Foreign Affairs and Defense Committee, whose job is to ensure implementation. He's busy with the evasion law. There isn't one. The Prime Minister thinks that if he said something about drones 6 years ago, then that exempts him from ensuring their implementation. And you'll see, now that they've woken up late and started to address the problem, soon we'll start hearing about solutions. But it will happen with a fatal delay. That's in our blood. That's in our blood. Que está en nuestra sangre. There is chaos, and therefore there is no security. It can be solved when we work seriously and when we take responsibility. Instead of making excuses, I'll show you the next threat, so you can't claim I made it up. Swarms of autonomous drones without remote control or cables that operate completely independently using artificial intelligence. The enemy will tell this swarm, fly to this settlement and kill as many Israelis as you can. Soon we will replace this chaotic government and we will govern Israel again.
What a prophecy.
Drones with artificial intelligence that can track people and take them out.
Thank you. We'll have to listen to him and see if that's possible and how we can stop it. Look, what Bennett says here, that he says that a solution was never found before the problem arrived. Everyone's in election mode, right? Vivi and Katz are both campaigning. Katz wants a top spot in Likud and to lead the lists. Bennett is in an election campaign. Lapid, Lieberman, everyone is in an election campaign. Look, the problem comes, and when it comes, you find a solution. That's how it was with everything. The Iron Dome, for example, the Iron Dome. I'll give you just one example, which is an anti-missile system invented here in Israel after many years of Hamas rockets falling, and there was no solution until finally there was. The Arrow 2, the Arrow 3. Also, for years and years, they kept perfecting the system until it finally worked. The same thing will happen here. It's true. We're now in the stage of weakness. We're in the stage where we're taking the hit. There are people, I believe, when the Prime Minister says there are people working on it, I really think there are people working on it. I'm 100% convinced. And I'm also convinced that at some point they're going to find a solution. Everything else, everything he says, yes, look, there are a lot of things that don't work here in Israel. But the thing is, everyone is in election campaign mode. Now, look, imagine the next one. A hypothetical scenario, okay, in which he is the Prime Minister. Bennett. Now, and Bibi is the leader of the opposition. What do you think Bibi would do?
People would already be out in the streets.
What do you think his messages would be?
No, the same one.
The same ones? Exactly the same ones. I mean, everything they're saying to Bibi from the opposition would be exactly what he would be saying, and probably with good reason, to anyone who was in power. That's right. And you have to understand that they're all in an election campaign, every single one of them.
Bibi isn't naive or stupid. There must be more to it. Do you think there's more to it, Ariel?
No. No.
I feel the United States is restraining Israel and empowering terrorists. As an American, I feel betrayed and powerless. They leave everything unfinished. Israel, Venezuela, maybe even Cuba. Good grief.
He'll leave Cuba before even starting.
Yeah, he'll put him. No, I don't think so.
Look, I think so, maybe. I don't know. I don't care anymore.
Say it. No, come on, say it.
Come on, just say it. There's freedom here. I'll delete it later. That's all.
It doesn't matter.
Or you message later saying, hey, you deleted this. And I say, yeah, I did.
That's something that has happened before.
It has happened. It has happened. It had to happen. I mean, because it was just too much.
The message is that there's something more. Let's see. I hope so. I hope so. And I don't think so. I think there was simply a very tense 2-hour conversation between two leaders, and it ended and Trump won. Trump ended up winning. That's what I think happened. I don't think there's anything we don't already know. I think Trump simply told Bibi, listen to me, Bibi. You're going to mess up my deal with Iran. Don't mess up my deal with Iran. wait a bit until one of these two things happens. Either we reach a deal with Iran. When we reach a deal with Iran, the Iranians won't back out because of Hezbollah, or the ceasefire with Iran finally breaks down. He told him that, and Bibi said he needed to attack today. And Trump told him, well, you can't attack today. You have to wait. Today it's not possible. That's the most I think we might not know.
That Trump told him, come back tomorrow, maybe tomorrow.
Why is Iran threatening? Iran said if Beirut is attacked, they'll pull out. But since there's no agreement, they have nothing to lose. But when there is an agreement, then maybe they have something to lose. Or when the ceasefire is finally broken and we're already back at war, then it doesn't matter anymore.
But who believes there will be an agreement?
Huh?
Who believes there will be an agreement?
Does Trump think there will be an agreement?
Are you laughing?
Well, look at Trump's tweets. He believes there will be an agreement.
Do you think there will be an agreement?
I think Trump thinks there will be a deal. Sorry. I doubt there will be an agreement. And if there is, it'll be like Obama's. Bad.
Oh my.
There won't be a good agreement. I mean, either there's no agreement or there's a bad agreement. There won't be a good agreement. This means that eventually, with or without the United States, Israel will need to attack Iran again.
Do you think we're going to see within this romance between Bibi and Trump, the situation where Bibi told Joe Biden, even if they take away our weapons, we'll fight with our bare hands? Thank you. Can we reach that scenario? Goodbye. He said that when Joe Biden threatened him that if he entered Rafah, he would block the shipment of weapons, ammunition, free-fall bombs, the JDAMs, the famous JDAMs. And Bibi told him, even if they take our weapons away, we will fight with our bare hands.
Why can Bibi say no to one president of the United States, but can't say no to another? If he already said no once to a president of the United States, what does it matter who it is? It doesn't matter. And the relationship between the United States and Israel transcends whoever is president or prime minister. It doesn't matter. Because it's a national interest of the United States, you understand? So why Joe Biden? If you dare to say no to him, and you don't dare to say no to Trump, I know why. But you should also be able to say no to Trump.
I don't know. People in the chat are really confused right now.
People are angry, just like you, just like me. People are furious. I saw it earlier on my show.
And against the people are...
But of course, yes. But there are people who are so angry. Listen to what I'm telling you. There are people who are so angry and so disappointed that they are supporting Francisco Gil White's theory. They're so angry with Trump because of the betrayal of Israel. You know the theory, right? Right?
Tell me.
I don't need to discuss that theory. I'm not its spokesperson. Not the tell me one.
No, look.
No, he was a guest here several times. Didn't he ever explain it to you?
That Trump wants to destroy Israel.
Yes. That's the one, yes.
And do you think that's the case? Because there are a lot of people who think so now.
Trump doesn't want to destroy Israel, and Trump is still an ally of Israel, and Trump is not betraying Israel. Trump is the president of the United States, and he is looking out for the interests of his country, which is the same thing that any leader of any country has to do. Sometimes the interests of the president of the United States are aligned with those of Israel many times, and other times they're not. It's that simple. No, I don't believe that theory. I think it's a theory. Well, from an academic point of view, I think it's an interesting theory. And I've heard it many times. I heard it several times on this channel, but also on other channels.
Francisco hasn't been here in a while. We'll see if he's a bit busy. We'll see if he can come one day.
No, he's always with Irving Gatale. They're always there arguing with each other. One thinks yes, the other thinks no. And I listen to him, and I don't agree with that theory. I don't think it's like that. I think that besides, he believes that for several decades, there has been a US policy whose goal is to destroy the state of Israel and to bring about a new anti-Semitic genocide. I don't agree at all. That's why I always say, no, not because isolated incidents happen. It means that we have to turn Trump into a leader who deserves some kind of cult-like adoration, which a lot of people seem not to understand. And they idolize Donald Trump as if he were the Immaculate Conception, to the point that we can never criticize him as if he weren't a human being. And I mean, I'm not in favor of that, because I'm not in favor of the opposite either, of considering that he's Judas and that he's a traitor and that he wants to sell out Israel and that he's simply a person who has to lead a country and who has certain national interests. And unfortunately, right now, he has a priority that isn't the safety of the residents in the north of the state of Israel. Trump's priority right now is to reach an agreement with Iran. And any attack in Dajia could jeopardize that priority. And that's it. That's what I think.
Well, Israel has said that the military operation continues. In fact, there are breaking reports that more tanks are still arriving at the front line in Lebanon. They're in combat, not just at the border. They've entered Lebanon and are advancing.
Yes, because it seems that is allowed.
So the story is that you can't bomb Dajia.
No, you can't touch Beirut. Don't touch Beirut. But everything we're doing in southern Lebanon, it seems like Trump doesn't care.
No, well, this is like, don't touch it, Rafah. It's the same, don't touch it, Rafah. Same situation, but more.
Yeah, well, Gaza is much smaller. It was, yes.
But the center where they are, where the leaders are, where all the infrastructure is, the infrastructure that we know is there is Beirut. It's Dajia.
So we have to attack. Yes, we have to attack in Dajia. We have to attack in Dajia. There's no other alternative. We have to attack in Dajia. But in the meantime, Israel keeps advancing through southern Lebanon. That hasn't stopped. They keep controlling the positions, the possessions they have in Bufor and other places. No, we shouldn't withdraw from anywhere.
Wait, they just ended our live broadcast.
Seriously?
Yes.
Voila.
Yes.
Voila.
We're done. We're still on Twitch. YouTube just took down the live stream.
This video was removed because it violates.
This is a joke.
This has never happened to me. Why is this happening?
I don't know.
Voila.
Let's see. We're still live on Twitch.
Are there people on Twitch?
It seems like there aren't. Let's see. Check and take action. Goodbye. Content featuring firearms. Minute 4. You can do it. If you want, you can appeal. What firearms did we show?
Maybe some of those videos you put in the intro.
No, we haven't shown anything. We haven't shown anything. Well, the missile launch thing. We are going to appeal.
But wait, does this mean it won't be uploaded later either? Not at all?
Nothing. No, this won't be uploaded. I probably can't stream live anymore either.
It's just one day, right? One day.
I don't know. I'll check. Let's see. Nothing. I can't live stream on YouTube.
That sucks. Shout out to everyone on Twitch. I don't have it.
Welcome to Twitch.
There's no censorship there, right? On Twitch.
There's no censorship on Twitch.
I'll make
yourself a Twitch account. But the people who are on Twitch, the people who are taking down entire shows right now,
the people who are on Twitch. They're not the same people from YouTube. They're younger, right?
No, it's not. It's all sorts of people.
It's not a different audience to me, since Twitch just sounds trendy.
Yeah, because there are a lot of gaming things and so on there. But well, it's the only site. It's the only site where there are no problems.
Hmm.
Seriously. It's the only place where they don't give us any trouble. 100%. In fact, there are 312 people right now.
That's it. Greetings to Twitch viewers.
Here we are.
May Hashem bless you.
Well, that's it. They ruined our stream.
Ariel and the
You didn't even have to mess things up. We didn't say anything. And look at that.
No, but we actually behaved really well. We didn't say anything. Nothing inappropriate. There were shows where we messed things up. Way, way more.
I'm going to check the Twitch stream at minute 4 now to see what the heck, what weapon is out there.
Oh my goodness. Well,
And that's it. I'm going to.
take care, brother.
And see you later.
See you later. Family, thank you so much for joining us live here on Twitch. We will re-upload this stream because it just got censored. So we'll download it. We'll upload it. Because we're not going to let anyone silence us. That's right. Greetings. Military strategies.